So, y'all, I am currently getting over a cold, so my voice is gonna sound funny and it's not gonna be as animated as usual, okay? Because look, this is like, I feel like this is deja vu. Hold up, because I'm about to go into this weird story real quick. Because last year, at about this same exact time, I had a horrible cold. Like, quite literally, right? Like it was definitely this time last year because I remember I missed the Michigan State versus UMich game because I was so sick and I had lost my voice, right? And this year, today is the Michigan State versus UMich game. And it's like, what? I feel like this is a really strange instance of deja vu. And I'm not going to go into all the details of it because there's other stuff that's also been happening that I'm like, this is pretty much like the same exact thing that happened last year, but I reacted to things differently. Like, it's like stuff comes in cycles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of stuff is cyclical and it's up to you to recognize the pattern and respond to it appropriately, even though you may not have the first time. But anyway, let me get into the actual story, y'all. So I was on Twitter and I saw the oddest post, right? This South African woman posted a picture of a topless African woman, right? And she made the caption, I just wonder if Black American girls have this type of breasts without plastic surgery, right? Okay. So, of course, I'm going to show y'all the post and everything. And I'm going to cover the picture because you already know YouTube, baby. YouTube be on me like white on rice. Like, come on now, right? But there's so many things to talk about here. Now, first of all, this South African woman posted this, clearly trying to appeal to the male gaze. Like, it's very obvious that was the case. She was trying to compare her body to Black American women's bodies and say they're better and, like, get men to be like, oh, yeah, like, I like your body more or whatever, right? But this is the thing. First of all, I don't know who these women in this picture are. I don't know if they're South African women or what, but they clearly some sort of African women, right? And I don't like the fact, and I'm saying this as somebody who's not even African, I don't like the fact that these women were topless, for whatever cultural reason, and you took it and you made it into something sexual. Because that's literally what white people do to African bodies and Black bodies, period. Like, I really don't like that at all. And it reminds me of the South African woman. I believe her name was Sarah Bartman. White people abducted her and took her and put her into a human museum, like literally a human zoo, and they made her sit there naked and they would look at her body like, oh, look at how big her butt is, oh, look at this, look at that, right? Like, they took that woman's body and used it for something that was completely not what her nudity was about. This is something I've really been thinking about in my personal life because everybody knows, like, oh my God, a woman's nudes getting exposed is like the most horrific thing in the world, right? But I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we so ashamed of our naked bodies? And I really believe that mentality is something that came from white people. And it came from them when they began to do things that this woman just did. They took naked bodies and us minding our business and turned it into something that it wasn't. Like this picture is of an African woman walking around minding her business, like just whatever, right? And you turn it into something sexual and grotesque that it didn't have to even be, right? And that's where this shame around the naked body comes from. And I really just don't like that at all. I really don't like that. The fact that these are, I'm assuming, some tribal African women minding their business, doing their thing, and you took a picture of them and made it into something perverted. Like, that's literally what you did. You took a picture of them just minding their business, engaging in their culture, and you made it into some nasty pick-me shit. Oh, I wonder if Black American women have titties like this without plastic surgery. Trying to get basically men to pick you. That's the first thing I don't like, right? But then let's just get into this weird line of thinking, period, right? So when I first saw this post, I retweeted it, excuse me, and I added the caption. I'm like, this is weird. Like, what Black American has ever been sitting around and been like, I wonder if African women have titties like this or a butt like this or whatever. Like, no Black American woman has ever been thinking about that. Like, ever, I assure you so. There's no conversations being had about that. We are not thinking that. We just are not, right? And it's funny because when I retweeted this, some Africans replied like, you are thinking about us. You know, like, you make videos about us all the time. Bitch, when the fuck have I ever made a video about African women's titties and comparing mine to theirs, bitch? When the fuck have I ever, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I make videos about the weird shit that y'all do, and I check y'all weirdness and these weird ass diaspora wars y'all starting on, the dumb shit y'all say about black Americans. And bitch, even I'm not thinking about your ass. I have to be minding my business, scrolling, and there y'all are 24/7 talking shit about us. Y'all be thinking about us and I respond. Like, what? So that's the first thing, right? A lot of times I feel like there's this weird ass one-sided competition that African women feel concerning black American women. And let me explain why I'm saying that. Let me explain exactly why I'm saying that. Because y'all are about to be like, oh, you just xenophobic, you just saying that because you look down on Africans. No, that's legitimately not the case. And I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who has dated African men before, and I've heard the weird shit that they say about African women. Like, okay, first example, there was this Kenyan guy I used to date, right? Mind you, we never talked about Kenyan women. Like, that was never a conversation that we had. So when he came out of nowhere with this, I was like, what on earth are you talking about, right? So we were literally sitting there. I don't know what we was doing. I don't know. And he came out of nowhere and he was like, yeah, I don't like Kenyan women. I don't date Kenyan women. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because that's a red flag to me. I think that's very strange for a man to say that he does not like the women from his background. Like, I don't care what race or ethnicity or whatever the man is. Any man who says he does not like the women from his background is immediately getting a side eye from me. You know what I'm saying? It could be a Mexican man saying he don't like Mexican women. It could be whatever. You know, I'm going to immediately look at you and be like, what? Because that don't make no sense. Because y'all are more similar than y'all are different. Because y'all come from the same culture, the same society, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why would you say that about the women that you are linked to? You know what I'm saying? And y'all, so when he came out of nowhere, he said that, oh, I don't like Kenyan women. I was like, what are you talking about? Why would you say that, right? So he said he don't like Kenyan women because they lazy and gold diggers. And I was like, wait a second. And I said this to him because this shit didn't make no damn sense. I was like, wait a second, because you pay for everything in our relationship without me having to ask. Like, I have never asked. On the first day, you know, I tried to pull my wallet out, you know, just for appearances. You know, like, keep up appearances, act like I was contemplating paying, you know. And you was like, oh, no, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man paid for everything in this relationship, right? And I never had to ask him to. There was never any issue, anything like that, right? But then you sit there and you call Kenyan women lazy and gold diggers for wanting the same shit that I do. Because I want a man who pays for everything in a relationship. I want a man with money. Who want a broke ass man? What are you saying, right? But you don't have no issue with me, a black American woman, being the exact same as Kenyan women in that regard. Because the issue is not the laziness or the gold digging. The issue is the fact that those women are Kenyan and clearly you're self-hating. Like, that's clearly the issue here. I'm sharing that story for a reason, okay? I have dated and talked to African men before, and a lot of times, more often than not, they will mention the fact that they don't like African women and they prefer black American women for whatever reason. They'll say, like, we just so much more attractive, you know, they women are this, that, all of this weird shit, right? And African women know this. They know this, right? So a lot of times they end up in a one-sided competition with black American women because they understand that this is my thing, y'all. This is my thing. And I'm not even going to leave it at African women because I know y'all about to come and be like, oh, you're just saying that because you look down on us, yada, 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 you're biased. No. I'm going to speak on black American women and men as well. So give me a second to tell a different side of the story, right? You will notice that some black American men do this same exact shit that African men do to African women, right? So you will see black American men telling non-black women, oh, I don't like black women because they're masculine and aggressive and ghetto and this, that. The whole time them non-black women is disgusting. It's gutter butt as hell, just down funk nasty, right? Because again, the problem is not these traits. The problem is that these men are self-hating and they just don't like their women because they don't like themselves, right? So a lot of times you will also see that some black American women may feel like they're in a one-sided competition with non-black women. Like, y'all remember when B. Simone said some weird shit about Latinas? Like, I forget what she said. I'm gonna put the link to the video up here, but she said some weird ass shit that really showed that she had an inferiority complex and basically was, you know, looking at these Latina women as if they were better than her. So it's not just African women on this. It's not. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of women who be on this, right? But this video just happens to be about African women because I saw this weird ass post and we're talking about it, right? So I feel like a lot of times African women are in a one-sided competition with Black American women because of the fact that they men are trifling as fuck, and they will be quick. They men are quick to put African women down and put Black American women on a pedestal. They're quick to do that shit. That's where this post came from. I feel like that's why she even posted this weird shit, and that's why it was other African women in the comments kikiing about it. Because, girl, what the fuck? Like, and this is the other thing, right? Because there have been times where I've spoken on the fact that Black women just have beautiful features that other races of women don't have. We have beautiful lips, beautiful hair, beautiful skin color, you know, like, just, oh my God, we really are just, oh my God, right? But I realize a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, Flower Tower, you've compared your features to other groups' features before, you know, like, so you've done the same thing that she has done, right? But this is the difference, okay? This is the difference. Let me explain. Me and a white woman are not the same genetically. So clearly there is a difference between us, quite clearly, right? Me and a Mexican woman are not the same genetically. Clearly we going to look different, have different features and stuff, right? But an African woman and a Black American woman, for the most part, we pretty much the same genetically. Now, I'm not saying completely. Clearly there's differences, okay? And let me go into the differences because y'all about to start hollering and screaming in the comments. I already know. Like, I got mind control over Debo. I already know what y'all finna do, bro. So let's just use this woman as an example. She's South African. She's probably 100% South African, probably 100% one tribe. Let's just say Zulu or whatever, right? On the other hand, there's a lot more genetic diversity in Black Americans. And let me explain exactly why, right? So during transatlantic slavery, of course, different people from different tribes were snatched up, clearly, right? And white people quickly realized if they left the same tribes together, then those people would communicate with each other and plan revolts, right? Duh. So they began to separate people. They would not sit all the Igbos with all the other Igbos, right? Because clearly they could talk to each other and plan a revolt, right? No, instead they sit this Igbo person with a Fulani person and a person from whatever other tribe, right? Because, again, they can't communicate and plan anything, right? That is why Black Americans are not, just 100% this tribe. No, they're 2% this tribe and 7% that tribe and whatever, right? So there's a lot more genetic diversity going on there. In addition to the fact that all Black Americans pretty much are some percentage white due to the rape that we endured during transatlantic slavery. Like, I am allegedly 14% white, but that's not actually correct because I use my sister's DNA results for that. And of course, even though my sister and I have the same parents, we don't have the same DNA because that's just not how meiosis works. There are even some Black Americans who have some Native American in them. Child, don't get them started on the grandma being a Cherokee princess, okay? Because they gonna go all day about that, right? But I'm saying that because I'm well aware of the differences between Africans and Black Americans genetically. But at the end of the day, Black Americans are 80, 90 something percent Black. And I know y'all about to comment like, actually, the average Black American is 70 something percent Black. That is not true. The issue with that statistic is the fact that you all claim biracials as Black American. So somebody with a white parent and a Black parent is being considered Black American. So they add them to the data pool. And of course, they have high percentages of European DNA. And that skews the average because actual Black Americans ain't no 60 something, 70% something Black. That's just not true. So like I said, Black Americans are, 80, 90 something percent Black. So we're going to have a lot of similarities with Africans genetically, quite clearly. Now, there's going to be some differences because, like I said, Black Americans tend to be more genetically diverse. But there's also going to be considerable similarities, like the fact that Black Americans are more likely to have sickle cell because of the fact that we're mostly sub-Saharan African, and sickle cell helps prevent malaria, an issue that was huge in sub-Saharan Africa. I said all that to say this. You compare your body to somebody who's 80 something, 90% the same as you genetically. Like, bitch, we have the same body. Like, what? Now, of course, clearly Black Americans have nothing to do with South Africans genetically. Clearly. So this would have been even dumber coming from a West African woman, right? But the fact remains, girl, be so for real with yourself. Like I said, it's different when I post like, Black women, we have like these beautiful features, like we have beautiful lips, yada, 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 because we're actually different from other races of women genetically. But African, compare her body to a Black American's as if we not damn near pretty much the fucking same genetically. Like, girl, you sound so fucking doofus. Like, what? Then she started getting flamed, of course. Like, of course. What did she expect, right? And I'm sorry, but somebody posted a picture of her and was like, you might want to humble yourself because her name is Be Humble. It was like, yeah, you need to humble yourself because you could definitely do with some of that plastic surgery. And I'm so sorry, but they did not lie. Like, face card, baby, decline. Not a dime in the bank. Like, girl, baby, cut that credit card up. Cut that up, throw it out, baby. Like, what is that? What is that? Girl, I hope you got some decent titties because the face is not facing one single bit. Lord, that's a homely looking woman. That's a ugly woman right there. And then the edges, girl, where are your edges at? Like, what? I'm confused. Why would you? Oh, God, girl, put a headband on or something. Cover that up. And I was going to call her bald headed because it looked like she is, but I'm not going to say that because one thing I've mentioned in the past, I don't like how every race of women can have short hair but black women. So a white woman, a Mexican woman, Asian woman, whoever, they can cut their hair down to here or have a pixie cut or whatever, and it's cool, it's cute, yada, yada, yada. But if a black woman cuts her hair, nobody assumes, oh, like she cut her hair short because, like maybe she just didn't want to deal with long hair or maybe she just likes that style. No, everybody jumps to the assumption, oh, she must be bald-headed. She just bald-headed. So I'm not going to say that part about her, being bald. But the edges is inexcusable. Then also somebody posted a picture of her like, oh yeah, this is a mid-take from a South African woman who is currently divorced with a baby daddy, so and so and so. And I didn't like this comment at all because if she's divorced, how does she have a baby daddy? Like, that's her ex-husband. What are you saying? I don't like, again, how black women are always reduced to having baby daddies. Like, if a black woman has a child, she could have been married to a man for 10 years, had 2 children, and, they ended up getting divorced. And folks are still going to call her a baby mama and say that's her, her baby daddy. Like, no, that's her ex-husband who she was married to, she had children with. What are you saying? But then when a white woman or something has a bunch of kids, everybody going to assume, oh, you must be with the child's father or you must be married or whatever. She never gets called a baby mama. Even when the children are had out of wedlock, she will still be called, oh, that's the mother of so-and-so's children. Not a fucking baby mama. Like, I don't like the fact that this person called her a baby mama, even though she has an ex-husband who I'm assuming the child was, created with. Like, I didn't like that at all. Anyway, girl, get it together because black American women are not the issue here. Whatever issues you have with African men, girl, figure it out. Leave us alone.